Yeah, I'm starting to turn white, I think, from drinking. I think you're turning red. So anyways, again, we were doing staking as a service. The problem kind of arose when we had some leftover coins from other ICOs. I had a lot of like Tezos sitting around. And then the problem is like, how do I actually stake Tezos, right? Like, do I have to run on my laptop or my desktop, or do I have to create a cloud instance to do it? And then I brought my friends here who have infrastructure backgrounds as well. I also come from infrastructure. And we thought about, okay, how do we make it easy for anybody else to stake their coins, right? So Taylor, I think, where are you? Yeah, you had a very good point. Like, how do we decrease the on-ramp for like anybody, not just like developers, but for just everyday people that have coins? And then if you look in like future, if everything migrates to proof of stake, sorry, Cadena, but if everything migrates over to proof of stake, then there has to be a mechanism for staking your coins as well, right? So all these problems are kind of coming together to having a staking service. And we also have, Tom again has like a storage background and a Kubernetes background, and there's like a lot of optimizations you can do. If you have multiple nodes running on the same instance, if you have multiple nodes sharing the same resources, there are things to make it much cheaper. Because if let's say you want to run a Harmony node today, I think the cost was like $69 a month. And then you have to think about, okay, well, how do I make that return per month if I'm running a Harmony node, right? How many tokens do I need? So we can start bringing that $69 a month downward. Maybe we get it to like $10 a month. Then maybe it's like more realistic for others to join in or run their own nodes, for example, right? And we don't want to talk too much about how we're doing that. We're kind of in the works of optimization for various different chains. But we're happy to answer any other questions of our like philosophy or other plans that we have for our service. So that's all.
Thank you. But definitely on the philosophy, because there are still people that holding on to proof of work.
Yeah.
In particular, the whole conversation started with like EOS doing all this staking, dedicated staking, and now like Algorand, easily the top project out there talking about staking, and really getting very great traction. About $1 million or $2 million just to be to stake, right? Can you talk about like the bigger macro trend? How this project
Actually, my professor is writing a research paper on this today. Proof of work as a waste for environmental like pollution and waste electricity. Right now, actually, governments are giving credits to proof of work miners because it increases their GDP for electricity output, right? And that's just, again, it's just a huge waste of resources, a huge waste of money. It's good for the people that are running, Bitcoin operations, I guess. But just for the environment, it's just a waste of electricity. So I think overall everything is going to eventually flip to proof of stake, just much more efficient use of consensus, right? You had a question?
What about proof of work as power production leveling, right? So there's like this whole effort for power plants to like model how much power people are consuming. What if you give credits for
I think the main point is like, are you using electricity that you don't need to use? That's the main philosophy. And then if you are, then you're wasting electricity. And then you're making damage to the environment, right? In theory, maybe you have a solar farm that's like really clean and running electricity, but no, that's another issue.
Maybe you're running an electric heater anyway, right? It's the same thing, basically.
Yeah, electric heater outside. What's the point? Right? Sorry, Canada guys. Sorry.
I suppose I got two questions. One is when you're looking at optimizing the proof of stake, and centralization versus decentralization. So the optimization may make it more centralized, so your thoughts on that. And then the second question is around sort of the business model, and when you're looking at proof of stake, are you thinking that will be a chain-wide, or on the different stakes based on sharding, you might have different incentivization depending on the usage of the shards?
Yeah, so we're working on both. The decentralization is kind of odd. Like if you're running a node on AWS, for example, Amazon kind of owns your node, right? So it's not really decentralized. So if you can make it in a way that's easily deployable to like your own personal machine, that's a way to make it lower the on-ramping for a personal decentralized node. The other thing, so again, we're focused more on the cloud-based front because you can combine multiple different chains, multiple different nodes. You could share different resources. What was the second question?
The second question is the incentivization model. Do you think it's going to be chain-wide or shard-wide, where you have different shards which have different incentivization models, say for financial transactions versus social media, with different sort of staking models on those shards?
We still need to work that out, but we want to make sure it's like not chain specific or like application specific. We want to make sure like in a world like where resources can be monitored and then managed, and then you use very, very basic tricks to like maybe allocate resources over here instead. We don't want to make it like, oh, this because it's this chain, it deserves this amount of resources, right? We want to be like, oh, maybe this chain is idle right now. Maybe there's a transaction volume that's lowering, so let's put the resources to another chain, right? So that's our kind of philosophy around that strategy.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Well, that's it for Jeff, because he needs to play mini golf with his Berkeley business cohort. Jeff is still going to business school. Let's hire this guy out of business school. He's at Salesforce now too chill because they're making so much money in San Francisco. But Jeff, obviously a very big supporter of Harmony, but in general, talking about business use cases, if not the community, I really appreciate many of the feedback since last year that I know Jeff. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
Thanks, Jeff.